Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now is Dr. Mark Simmerant and Dr. Sharon Beck with the Friends of Jewish Federation Club. Welcome, you guys. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. Tell me about this club. What is the purpose of this club?
Well, the purpose is to help residents of Laguna Woods understand the many functions of the Jewish Federation of Orange County. And in addition, it's to enhance Jewish life here in Laguna Woods and also to raise money for the Federation. And we meet on a monthly basis, the first Monday of every month. And this month, it's the second Monday because of Labor Day, but normally it's the first Monday of every month.
Okay.
And the next meeting will be October the 2nd, and we'll be having Cantor Nancy Linder, and that's our fundraising event, where we will be asking people to make pledges to the Federation.
Okay, wonderful. And Mark, what is important for you about being involved in this club?
I just was asked to be a speaker on Monday night, September 11th,
Okay.
to tell my parents' story of survival of the Holocaust.
And so how did you get involved in this to begin telling these stories?
As a child, I was probably the only member of my family that was very inquisitive of every detail involving the Holocaust. And I spent a lot of time with my father discussing these stories. And, as my father started getting older, I felt there was a big need to educate, the community and students about, what had happened. And my father was not a public speaker. He was a very soft-spoken individual. And my mother was also a survivor, and she was in hiding with Catholic nuns, who, like an Anne Frank type of story. And so she did not want to discuss the Holocaust very much with anybody. So my dad kind of shied away from that direction. So then the pressure mounted on me as the next generation to keep the story alive, or else it would be forgotten. So I started doing talks to elementary schools and anyone that would hear the story. And they just became very popular. And then I was asked to speak here at Laguna Woods to the Friends of the Jewish Federation. And I've talked into all kinds of schools, public and private. And it's very fun for me to keep the story alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important for people to hear it, I'm sure. So are you able to tell us like a little bit of your dad's Holocaust experience?
Yeah, I'll be telling most of it on Monday night, but just a preview, my father was in Poland, and Poland was invaded in 1939 by the Nazis, and he had to go to a ghetto with his family, and they worked at the IG Farben pharmaceutical company for free, slave labor, to make chemical ammunitions for the Nazis. And from there, he was transported with two of his brothers to Auschwitz concentration camp, and that's where he resided for the next 5 years until the war was over. And it's a miracle, him and one of his brothers survived. Everyone else perished in his family. So I don't get into the gory details in my talks, but I do tell about, the events that led him to America.
And then your mom, so they were not married yet, they were not together yet when this happened.
No,
so what was your mom's story?
My mom grew up in a prominent Jewish family in Germany. And it was near the border of Poland, but it was in Germany. And my grandfather, he basically knew, he had served in the German army when he was young, after World War I, and he had money and resources, and he knew that times were bad, so he was planning on protecting his family and escaping out of Germany. He got visas to leave Germany in 1938, and then his wife, my grandmother, did not want to leave her sisters She had 5 sisters. They each had 1 child, and they made a pact to stay together, even through a war. Wow. And so my grandfather ended up going to concentration camp in 1942, and he escaped from concentration camp and got to a hiding place that he prearranged with 2 Catholic nuns. And that's where my grandmother and my mother were hiding. And my grandfather joined them, as well as one of my grandmother's sisters, her husband, and their little boy. So 6 people hid under a dining room table for 2.5 years with a Nazi living in a duplex on an adjoining wall right next door. And they survived that hiding spot for 2.5 years.
Wow, incredible.
I wanted to say that there are a number of Holocaust survivors here in Laguna Woods.
Okay.
There was at one time 70, and there may be a few less now, but that's about, and the Jewish Federation supports them.
Definitely.
And I've given them all kinds of resources and money and whatever they've needed to continue to survive.
Well, that's just incredible, and the spirit of the human spirit, right? To keep going.
Exactly.
And that's so much love ended up coming out of these people meeting. So, so real quickly, because we're out of time, but we want to talk about the event coming up on September 11th. Where is it? What time? How do you get tickets?
Clubhouse 5 at 7 o'clock, and you don't need tickets, you just need to come.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
It'll be so nice to hear more of the stories coming up on Monday.
Why don't you come?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you should. Thanks for having me, too.
Thank you.
Okay, so stay with us. We will have announcements and weather right after this.